Newcastle United 2, Man United 1. The unbeaten run has gone, bro. The unbeaten run has gone. We don't know what it feels like to lose. We haven't lost since December. And it feels weird. It feels crap. Against 10-man Newcastle as well. We had to do better. We had to do better. And we're cursed at St. James's Park. We are cursed. We never win at this place. We ain't won there since 2019, taking out the COVID win. Do you know what I mean? So we don't travel well here. I didn't buy into the hype of, they've lost the last 3 games at home. They're playing poorly, this, that, and the other. You just had a feeling. And you can lose football matches. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't lose very often. We haven't lost in a long time, like I said. And you can't win them all. But it was very disappointing across the board today. Across the board tonight, it was disappointing. We just didn't do enough. We never really took to the game. I think first half, Newcastle came out flying, as they do at home. We had chances, though, towards the end of the first half. They had chances. And we were just naive. Do you know what I'm saying? We didn't show enough quality. Brian and Bumo tonight, way off it, not good enough. Cunha showed glimpses, then faded. Bruno Fernandes gives away a silly penalty. Benjamin Sesko was non-existent tonight because we didn't really give it, we didn't give him anything. You have to involve him in the game. We didn't give him any chances. And the game changed, of course, with the red card to Jacob Ramsey. And what do we do? Casemiro gives away the ball when no one's looking. No one's looking at him at all. And then he gets the ball nicked off him. Then the counter's on. And Bruno he couldn't help it. He couldn't help it. But stick his leg out and make the foul. And give Newcastle United something to hold on to. Then we showed good character to get back into the game immediately. Bruno assist, that's what he does. Okay, cool. So you made up for it. And I don't think the first half was as one-sided as some people make out. We had the chance from Mbeumo where he should have scored. We had the shot from Cunha, which led to that Mbeumo ricochet. We had the Casemiro goal. We had, there was one other shot that we had. I can't remember off the top of my head. They hit the bar. They had the Harvey Barnes wrapped around the corner. Wasn't on target. And I think they were doing the more eye-catching work. I said it's like boxing. If you were giving rounds for that first 45 minutes, you'd give more 10-9 rounds to Newcastle, because when they go forward, there, you got Tonali driving, you got Joe Linton driving, Elanga getting at Shaw, etc. Gordon's quick and nimble. It's more eye-catching work, but essentially it wasn't as bad as we made out. Second half, for large parts of it, for most of it, it was so poor, really, really poor. We kept moving the ball too slowly. There was no urgency with what we were doing. We were allowing Newcastle time and space instead of going to press them to get the ball off them to go and do what we needed to do. We kept giving away silly set piece opportunities to them. Just playing with fire. Do you know what I'm saying? They were the ones probing. It felt like we had 10 men. I thought we had 10 men at one point, at large parts of that second half. And you got worried. Michael Carrick, I think his changes were too late. I don't know why Casemiro came off as early as he did. But, okay, we give him that. And Mbeumo wasn't good. Ahmad should have come on way earlier. With how Joshua Zirkzee played when he came on, he should have come on a lot earlier as well. So that is something that a lot of Middlesbrough fans, when we're doing a little bit of research on Carrick before he obviously come into us, he takes a little while to make his subs. But at the same time, while those are the negative things that happened during the game, during this 90 minutes, people will lose their shit over this and start getting angry and self-combusting and saying it's all crap, wheels are falling off, this is why Carrick's a fraud and all of this stuff. I'm not buying into any of that. Carrick has earned the right from the previous 7 games to make the decisions that he feels are right, to make the substitutions that he feels are right. But you live and die by them. You stand by them, right? You get judged on them. And I think that he could have made the changes earlier for a bigger impact. If you think about it, before we score, I'm trying to break it down and be calm, because we've lost our first game since December and it's easy to sort of start panicking, okay? before we conceded the winning goal, Lenny Yoro has to score. Bruno Fernandes almost puts it on a plate for him, essentially. It is a decent save from Ramsdale, but Lenny Yoro should score. Joshua Zirkzee, fantastic strike, not even entitled to do that. Fantastic strike, but Ramsdale, fantastic save. We looked like we were starting to put a bit of pressure on, and it all changed just like that. Terrell Malacia hasn't played I thought he would never play for Man United again. We give the ball away on a transition from Bruno, who makes a poor decision to try and get the ball to Cunha, and it's under hit. Maguire doesn't want to run out to Asula, and rightly so. It's Malacia's job to get back in. But I'm not going to cuss Malacia for it, because look at the guy's injury record and how long he's been out. He's part of the bomb squad. He hasn't probably thought he's not going to get another kick. We probably thought he's not going to get another kick. But he has to play. And William Asula's taken him, and he just cuts in so easily. And then after that, it's just a fantastic finish. There's nothing anyone can do about it. And the game's done, and that's that. But listen, context is key, guys. I do agree that the performances from West Ham through to now haven't been the best. But we've just, the difference is we've found a way to win. You're not always going to be able to get away with doing that, obviously. When you face Newcastle United with our midfield, we're going to have problems. They're physical, they're powerful, regardless of how poor they're playing. And it's away from home where we don't do well there. So that's stacked against us. And also, in context, we are in a very good position in the league still. That is why you wanted to be 6 points ahead of Chelsea, because we're going to drop points at some stage. So we've just eaten into our cushion, and they've slashed that in half by beating Villa. However, what is good is that we're still third because Villa lost. Liverpool lost as well last night to Wolves. Now, I said earlier this was a chance to really put two hands on 4th/5th/3rd, well, Champions League football. So it's annoying that we weren't able to do that. But, we play Villa next. Football's a funny old game. And Newcastle played Chelsea next. All of a sudden, there's a draw there and we beat Villa. And then it's back to how you were. So, listen, man, it ain't going to be easy. We're not just going to stroll to Champions League qualifications. A lot of these teams in this area of the pitch are going to, in this area of the table, are going to drop points. You know what I'm saying? Newsflash, team loses a game. Newsflash, team drops points. It happens, But it doesn't happen very often for us. It hasn't been happening very often for us, and you can't win them all. So, Carrick's 8 games, 6 wins, 1 draw, and a loss. You can't, it's still a good return. And I just need a reaction, because we can't, what I will do agree with, we can't keep playing how we're playing. We do need to up it. We do need to show more. Villa, yes, they got pumped and they're not great right now. They're in free fall. However, we do need to show a bit. We need to reassert ourselves if we're serious about continuing the hard work that we've put in under Michael Carrick to put ourselves in this position and dust ourselves down. Don't panic. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't panic. So I'm disappointed. I'm annoyed. I'm pissed off. But overall, context-wise, we're still in a good position. I ain't going to lose my shit over it like that. I'm not. And don't let anyone gaslight you to do it. Talk about the performances. Talk about what needs to improve. No point stating the obvious, like we need midfielders and we need more squad depth and we need more options. We know all of that. That's stating the obvious. But it's going to catch up with you against certain opposition. And it did tonight. William Asula hits a great strike into the far corner. We didn't defend it well enough. And we went at the races tonight and it caught up with us. Bounce back against Villa. That's all I need to see. Fucking bounce back. I'm out of here, guys. Let me know what you guys are saying. Peace.